this way and see how he does with like the distractions of like people running and other stuff like that. And he has an e-collar on and a long line, so I can reinforce pretty easily if I need to. Who's that? Who is that? What do you see? What you doing? All right, let's go. Good boy. So, one thing to point out, and I point this kind of thing out like frequently, is that right there, very often, the kind of like thing that the reflexive thing to do, like the reaction there, that both dog trainers and dog owners have, is that he's walking up towards those people, right? And instead of letting him kind of just watching and seeing what he does, and then like in this case he did like absolutely nothing. All he did was sniff and be curious, which that's like good behavior. That's like, oh, like they're like, he was sniffing the air, kind of checking to see what they're doing, and then he did nothing. He just was like, oh, okay, whatever. So then I never told him anything. I did not communicate with him at all. He made his own choices, and he made good choices, and then I didn't have to do anything. So no obedience was necessary. He spent that entire time in the find your own fun window. He was in a freedom window, right? I never took his liberty, right? But he didn't do anything dumb. He made the right choice, right? But you can only get there with your dog if you practice that. If you don't practice that, them being in that window on a regular basis, they won't make the right choices because they've never had to try to make the choices before. You've never given them the opportunity. You've always preemptively done something to them to force their choice, right? And very often then we've created like this resistance where now like, oh, well, why are they holding me back? I want to go do that thing now because they're holding me back, right? But if you just gave them the choice, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I don't care, right? So give them the choice, see what they do. If they do the wrong thing, well then, okay, use as an opportunity, depending on what the wrong thing was, to either punish it, right? If you never want them to repeat that action again, so you're going to try to make that less frequent, or just negatively reinforce a command, right? So then switch them over into the work window because they made a choice at liberty that you need to kind of try to fix, right? With obedience, right? So you need to manage it with obedience. So it just depends on what it was, right? If it was a choice that would be okay, but you want them to do something different, you use the work window. If it was a choice that was dangerous and you never want them to do it again, like trying to attack another dog, you punish it, right? You make a big issue. And you want the message to be clear to them. You're having a conversation, a serious one with them. You never do that again. And it's very clear in their mind that that's something you never want them to do again. So give them choice points, teach them with the choice points, give them liberty, and then instead of having to constantly be on your dog's butt, you get to go on adventures and get into trouble with your dog and have fun.